The IMF just validated XRP, XLM, and HBAR. And no one's talking about what that really means. This isn't speculation anymore, it's a global power shift. For years, the International Monetary Fund warned that crypto was dangerous, volatile, and destabilizing. But suddenly, in 2025, they're building with it. And what they're building could completely rewrite how money moves around the world. So why did the IMF change its mind? What made the world's most conservative financial institutions start embracing blockchain networks like XRP, Stellar, and Hedera? The answer lies in something bigger than hype. It's about control, liquidity, and survival. Let's break it down. For over a decade, the IMF viewed crypto as a threat, something that could destabilize traditional markets. But this year's IMF spring meetings changed everything. For the first time ever, digital assets weren't a side topic, they were front and center. Officials openly discussed blockchain integration, CBDCs, tokenized liquidity, and digital settlement rails. Why? Because cross-border payments are broken. They're slow, expensive, and depend on outdated correspondent banking systems. And that's exactly where XRP, XLM, and HBAR come in. Instead of competing with blockchain, the IMF is now quietly integrating it. But here's what no one's saying. The IMF isn't just interested in crypto. They're positioning it as the foundation for the next global liquidity system. XRP has already proven it can connect CBDCs and fiat rails in real time. Case studies presented at the IMF's Digital Finance Forum showed how XRP liquidity pools could reduce FX slippage and help smaller economies struggling with dollar shortages. For the IMF, that's not just innovation, that's a solution. Stellar's focus isn't central banks, it's people. Their partnerships with MoneyGram and mobile money networks across Africa and Asia show how blockchain can cut remittance costs from 10% to almost zero. For the IMF, which cares about financial inclusion, that's exactly the type of infrastructure they need to meet global development goals. Then there's Hedera. Its governing council model, with major corporations, universities, and organizations, gives the IMF exactly what it wants: transparency and accountability. Hedera isn't the Wild West of crypto, it's enterprise-grade infrastructure, built for regulation and trust. Together, these three form what could become the IMF's digital liquidity triangle. Fast, XRP, inclusive, XLM, and compliant, HBAR. But the biggest shift isn't just about which assets they use. It's what they're planning to build on top of them. The IMF's special drawing rights, SDRs, have been the backbone of global liquidity since 1969. They're like synthetic reserve currencies that help nations settle debts. But imagine this: instead of paper-based accounting, SDRs become digital tokens, moving instantly across blockchains. The IMF is already discussing this concept: a digital SDR, DSDR, programmable, traceable, and interoperable. And in every technical paper so far, the same networks keep showing up: Stellar, XRP Ledger, and Hedera Hashgraph. For the first time ever, the IMF isn't competing with blockchain, it's harnessing it. But this raises one huge question. What happens to the US dollar when global liquidity starts flowing through digital networks instead? For decades, the US dollar dominated international trade and IMF lending. But with global debt at record highs and liquidity unevenly distributed, that model is cracking. A digital liquidity system, built on blockchain, could redistribute power in ways we've never seen. Nations could settle trade, issue tokenized bonds, or rebalance reserves without touching the dollar. And if the IMF manages it, they'll control not just loans, but the infrastructure that moves money itself. XRP, XLM, and HBAR become the rails of this new financial engine. Not meme coins. Not speculation. Infrastructure. This video is for informational purposes only and does not constitute financial advice. Always do your own research before investing in any digital asset. When the IMF validates something, it's not about hype, it's about survival. They don't chase trends, they build systems that last for decades. And right now, those systems are quietly being built on the very ledgers that retail investors were mocked for believing in. XRP, Stellar, and Hedera aren't just surviving regulation, they're shaping it. The question isn't whether blockchain will go global. It's which networks will carry the weight of that transition. Don't just watch this happen, understand it. The future of liquidity isn't coming, it's already here. If you believe in real utility, not hype, this is the time to pay attention. Which one do you think will dom?